folks, welcome back to Jerome Bee Farm and Homestead. Today we're going to do a quick little video and follow up on the hive top feeders and how they're doing. So I purchased 5 of the Mann Lake hive top feeders, and man, they hold a lot of liquid sugar water, your 1-to-1, 2-to-1, whatever you want to put in there. And a couple people asked, how are they working on the hives? Did I like them? Are there any issues with them? So they're not perfect, and there are some things that I would like to show you about what's going on with them. And I don't know that any feeder would be doing any different as far as that goes, but we'll get in there and look at them. Also, I contacted the Ceracell company and told them, hey, I really like your feeders. I didn't buy any, and the reason I didn't was because with shipping, it was a lot cheaper for me to go with the Mann Lake brand. And they mentioned that there is a supplier in California that does free shipping on those, and they sent me the link, and I'll put that down below, the link to where you can get the Ceracell style and supposedly free shipping. I was emailing back and forth with the guy in New Zealand, because that's where the company is, and he was very nice. And I think he's going to send me some to do a review on, which would be really cool. And he also said, what size of jacket do you wear? I'll send you a jacket. And I went and looked on their website, and their jackets aren't the ventilated type. And I said, hey, do you have ventilated? They did have ventilated the full body suit, and I don't wear those unless it gets really nasty out there, which it did sometimes this year. But and I've got one of those. So he said no, they have a hard time getting that material, but he said if I wanted one of the others that I could have that. And I was like, you know, really, I work in like 95 degrees sometimes out here, and it would just probably croak me if I tried to wear that. He said Ian in Canada said it was one of the best suits he ever had, and I said, yeah, if Ian said it was good, it probably is. And I'm not in Canada, and I can't wear that, and you know, I'm sorry. So I don't know if he's going to send me some feeders or not. We'll see. Okay, I'll quit yapping, and we'll get in and look at these feeders, and I'll show you how they're doing. Okay, we're going to start here on this Hive 29 here in the woods, and this is a fairly weak hive, and I've been feeding it. I don't give it a whole lot because they can't take the syrup very fast because the population is pretty low. And they're still working on it in here. So I don't see hardly any dead bees in here. There's a few, and they were probably from installation. None of them have gotten through. So one thing to notice about this one, and it's right down here. You can see all that in there. That's ants. So those little bitty ants find this and get in here, and they can get through the smallest crack between your cover and the feeder, and they get in there. So a lot of times I'll see on the outside of a feeder just a line of ants going up and down, those little bitty ants. So that one doesn't look too bad. It's been on there about a week, and I'm kind of concerned with the amount of nectar that they're taking down, so we need to check on this hive. It probably is going to need reduced. Okay, this is hive 17. This is the ivy queen ivy. So our weight is getting back where it needs to be on this hive. So they've cleaned it out. You can see the little ants scattering. There's quite a few bees up in the top area. You can see them in the screen in there. And there's all the little ants running around. So this one is empty. A little bit of crystallized sugar there. So this one's been emptied out, and a lot of the complaints about these is when they get down to that level, the bees are able to get underneath that screen mesh. What they've changed in the design is they've added these little fingers, and that seems to have stopped that. So I did silicone the ends so they can't get around that. Looks like they're putting some propolis up in there. So there's that one. We'll get on over here to hive number 2 and check it out. Okay, this is hive 2. You noticed I've reduced it down quite a bit because it was very lightweight and not doing very well. So let's see how much it weighs now and see what the top looks like. So when you're checking your hive for weight, don't leave a bunch of heavy rocks on the top. Yeah, it's still very light, so it needs some more syrup. That's cleaned out. So, no dead bees. There's a couple right there, but that's probably from installing. And lots of ants that are dead and drowned. So that's the thing I don't like about these, and I don't know if another feeder would do any better than that. But ants aren't really a problem, other than they just get in there and they need to be cleaned out. There's no bees up in the screen on this one because there's no food up here to get, so we need to fill it back up. So it's 3 of the 5. Okay, this is hive 15. And this hive was very strong in the summer. It produced almost 3 supers of honey, and I harvested them off of here, and they had plenty of weight in here, but I think what happened was they had a huge population, and that's how they were able to make all that honey that I harvested. But the honey left in the 2 deeps here wasn't enough to sustain that population, so through the dearth they ate it all down. Now they were doing okay for a while, and then all of a sudden I checked it and it didn't weigh hardly anything. So I got the feeder on it as soon as I could. So this one looks basically just like that other one. You got same deal with the ants going on. All those ants are dead, they drowned, and then the bees drained it on out. So all the liquid gets over to the center. It's sloped well, so none is remaining when they're done. You can see they're up in there. They're like, we want some more, because the weight on this is still not where it needs to be, so we need to give them some more. Okay, this is hive 11. This is one of our 2 remaining single deep hives, and this is the stronger of the 2. And I've been feeding it pretty good to get it built up, because it's going to overwinter as a single deep. You notice I put a lot of weight on these to try and help keep the ants out. And they still got some liquid in there they're feeding on. And there's a few dead bees in here, but I think that is from when I installed it. You can see there's quite a few up in here feeding behind the mesh. And we got the same ant problem down here. There's a few dead bees in there. But those dead bees are from when I was putting the lid on. They haven't gotten through the mesh in there and drowned. Boy, the reflection is bad. Get around here the other side there. You can see the ants and a few dead bees that drowned from installing it. These also are a good indicator of how level your hive's sitting. So this hive is leaning towards the back a little bit. It's deeper back here. Really want your hives leaning towards the front. So if any water hits the entrance, it won't go in. It'll go out. So I need to put a couple shims under that and get it leaning forward. Okay, that's the 5 new ones. Let's go take a look at this old style one and see how it's doing. I've got it on the huge swarm. So one thing about this one that's different, and I don't like it at all, is see those handles on the side that stick out? So the first time I put this on, the top cover sat on those handles and there was room for the bees to get underneath and in, and it drowned a bunch of bees. My fault though. It felt like it was sitting down there tight and it was good, but it actually wasn't. So if those handles were recessed like the ones from Mann Lake, it wouldn't have done that. Okay, I've been feeding this hive quite a bit because it's pretty lightweight and it's a big hive. So you can see pretty good there in the sun, all the bees inside on the mesh. And there are a few drowned ones. There's a drowned yellow jacket and the same ant problem. So now this one is siliconed all the way around the bottom, but look at all the bees in there coming up to feed. And this is what it's like when they smell that Pro Health, man. They pounce on this. So I got to get the lid back on there before any more go in there. But it's about the same. I just don't like those handles the way they are. Oh, so I added this shim that keeps it off these handles. Goodness, get out of there. Okay, so that's a follow-up on the feeders. I don't know what you can do about it, but the little ants, they're really not as bad today as when I first put them on there, but there would be trails of ants coming up and down. One thing you can do on your hive stand, you can put the feet of the stand in oil, but my stands are made such I can't do that. They're on cinder blocks and there's no way I could do it. So I'm just living with the ant issue, which the bees are getting 99.9% of the nectar, and those ants aren't causing any problems other than making a mess in there, and I got to clean them up, all the ones that drowned. So that's it for the video. Give me a thumbs up if you would, and have any questions, put them down below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel before you leave. Y'all take care.